Guys, I'm a little ticked off. This is Philippe the Learn to Grow guy, and here's what I'm ticked off about, okay? I've got a peach tree back here. This peach tree. Last year I had between 16 and 18 pieces of peaches growing on here, okay? Between 16 and 18 peaches. Overnight a squirrel came and wiped them all out. I'm assuming it's a squirrel, because all I know is sometimes in these here woods what I will hear out there is actually squirrels, okay? Now, this year I had at least 20 plus peaches on here. And again, a similar thing happened as to where came out here and every last one of them was gone. Well, here's what they did. On the other side there, I've got a wine sap apple. Yep. Yeah, that's whatchamacallums. Figs. This wine sap apple here. See, wine sap. This is a tree I've had that went through some very major struggles with a deer, because some deer came over and did the rutting thing and rubbed it over and knocked it over. I had to replant it and everything, okay? And since then, this tree has been producing fruit for me, okay? I never get a chance to eat them, but nonetheless, it's been producing. This year, it had an abundance of fruit on here, okay? I think if you look at some of the other videos I've got, you can probably see the amount of fruit that used to be on this tree. I say used to be because as you can see, they're all gone. It's really disappointing, you know. It's really disappointing. And as you can see, it's even had some of that whatchamacallit damage, Japanese beetle damage. This also had some minor cicada damage, but nonetheless, you know, this tree was doing okay. Like I said, it had plenty of fruit on it. And as of now, it's fruitless. So like some of the Fruit Loops that they sell nowadays, you know, they're fruitless. They don't really have fruit in them, you know. And that's how I'm looking at this tree at this point. You know, those things, they've stripped everything off of there. In years past, I'd see some fruit remnants, some of the ones that they would bite and just drop and stuff like that. This year, there's absolutely nothing down here. At least nothing that I'm seeing. Maybe y'all see something that I'm missing. Okay? But they took everything. They took everything. They took everything. And it looks like this might have been some deer damage. Or maybe deer did it this time. Huh. Yeah, maybe deer did it this time. I'm seeing this stuff here, these leaf bites. I'm thinking that deer would be the ones tall enough to bite these up this high. So maybe it's deer, I don't know. Looking at this here, maybe it is deer that got to them. It's between deer and squirrels. Either way it goes, my viewpoint is that one of them's got to pay. One of them's got to pay, man. And there is no, I'm going to make sure that it's my trees that pay, okay? It's those suckers. They're the ones that need to be taken care of, okay? I was looking forward to some wine sap apples, you know? Well, at least we got some peaches out of the trees this year. And there's another victory that I think I've got too. I'm going to show you that one in a minute. Okay, y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? Check it out, okay? Elderberries. I think this is the Johnson variety. Typically every year for the past 3 years or whatever the period of time has been, what's been happening is that when the Japanese beetles would show up, typically they would always try to eradicate the leaves. I would typically have no leaves left, and the fruit, the flowers up there, they would always embed the flowers. They would always be in the flowers. Like that one there's still a... See that? See the flowers? Usually the Japanese beetles would be up there. They would eat those too. Okay? But this year, with everything that I've been trying to eradicate the Japanese beetles, looks like this tree has actually survived this year. Look at this. You see that? They're ripening! Yes! They're ripening! However, some things seem to be coming up and picking them as they're ripe. I'm assuming it's birds, because if it was deer, they probably would have eaten the whole thing. But since each of the berries seem to be picked individually, I would say that it's probably birds. But nonetheless, y'all, look at all the berries that are on this tree this year. Look at all that, you see? Look at all that. I am so pleased with that. I am so pleased with that, y'all. I am so pleased with it, okay? I am so pleased with it. Like I said, it looks like the birds are getting to a lot of them. I need to do something to make sure that the rest of them ripen so I can have some, so I can, like this bunch here. Yeah, maybe I should pick this one. There we go. Yeah, I'll pick this one and I'll go see what I can do with it. Like snack on it. You can eat elderberries by themselves, but you don't, from my understanding, you don't want to do too much of them. But nonetheless, the elderberries are very rich in vitamin C and a host of other things. They're very good for you. I'd imagine that if the berries are good for you, the leaves probably have some medicinal value on them as well. I would suggest that you take a look. I don't have much information on them because I was not planning on showing you this. The goal was to actually check out the apples and hopefully harvest some of them. But yeah, so here's another one. This tank here, I got to work on trying to get that buried under here, underground to some degree. Hold on, let's see. Yeah. Over here's another elderberry stick that I had stuck into the ground. And typically what would happen is that the Japanese beetles would eradicate this too. This is the first time this is actually doing a little bit of something. I know it looks like a bunch of weeds, but you know, well, maybe this one's not doing too good. If you look at some of the old branches, it looks like something's eating them. See that? Looks like something's been eating some of these branches and such. That's probably why it's not thriving. As you can see, even look at that stick there. So, but nonetheless, that's what's been happening with this, okay? I've got one other thing to show you guys. My goal was to what is that? Kiwi, you know, the small ones, and of course some of the, whatever would survive in this area. The one I had planted here died. That one didn't make it at all. See the dead branch? Okay. Over here's another one. As you can see, I've got problems with Japanese beetles with this one. Okay. And here's another one here. Okay, over here I'm supposed to be building a trellis for this. And of course the other one I had here, that one didn't make it either. Yeah, that one did not make it. So, no, that's not even it. No, wait, this is it right here. Hey! Okay, cool. Okay, so what I had done is that I believe I had a male of that variety planted in the middle, and I had some females planted on the outsides. So this would be a female. The one that would have been growing over there would have been another female. That way I had one male pollinating them from both sides. So what this variety here is one of those varieties that's where it's self-pollinating, so that this one here at this point, once it grows, it's just going to do its thing. But this is a male of the kiwis, of those two kiwis, of the kiwis on the outside. That's the male version right here. So this one here is self-pollinating, and what I've got to do is that I've got to build a trellis that I'm planning on building. Okay, yep, I'm done. I can't do any mowing, so therefore my berry area is full of tall grasses and stuff like that. And in about probably another week, I'm experiencing some, well, it's minor pains, but I don't want to push the healing. So it looks like I've got some onions that are ready to be picked, harvested out of here. Because you got to remember, y'all, I don't just put one thing into the ground. I typically like to try to plant stuff around it. As you can see around this one here, there's comfrey growing near it. Okay, there's comfrey, and I would typically have some onions or something else growing in the area too. But nonetheless, around all these different berries, bushes you see in there, they all have other stuff planted around them, especially comfrey. Okay. Even around this here, where this other kiwi, this female kiwi would have been, as you can see, I have comfrey growing there too. Okay, so typically around everything, I like to put some comfrey or some other things growing in the area with them, so that everything will do well. Okay, so everything will thrive and not just grow by itself. So what was a disappointment? Well, we end with hope. Okay, hope of kiwis, hope of trellises, hope of harvesting onions out of the field with the berry bushes. Okay, see that? I still had a small harvest. I mean, I had been the apples I was hoping for, but nonetheless, I still ended up with something. Okay, all right, y'all. Plant and be merry. Okay, if you have not subscribed yet, please do so. If you haven't liked yet, please click the like. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you're going to subscribe, you might as well hit the notification bell. All right, y'all take care.